permit me to join us in our diploma consultancy services. Is it not? Yes. We want to convince you to join us in learning Arabic language. The topic of the paper is the use of Hausanized Arabic words in Hausa poetry. And we selected one of our poets, Professor Ali Muhammad Bunza, and his Qasida as example. كما قلت أولا، سامحوني أن أتقدم في هذه اللحظة الميمونة بما تيسر لي من تحليل يسير يتعلق بعنوان هذه الورقة. فالورقة تشتمل على محاور أساسية، والتي منها نبذة تاريخية عن إيكوواس، ثم تلي هذه النقطة نبذة يسيرة عن الشاعر نفسه، والمحور الذي يلي المحورين هو لب الموضوع، دراسة تطبيقية لنماذج من الكلمات العربية المحوصة في قصيدة الأستاذ الدكتور علي محمد بنزا. ونهائيا نكتمل هذه الورقة بالخاتمة وبعض النتائج التي حصل عليها الباحث. ولا أطيل الكلام حول تعريف مجموعة إيكوواس، لأننا أفريقيين، لا سيما كل له خبرة ولو قليلة عن مجموعة إيكوواس. وغاية ما أقول أن هذه المجموعة تكونت من 15 دولة من دول أفريقية، منها دولة نيجيريا والنيجر. أما عن حياة الشاعر الأستاذ الدكتور علي محمد بنزا فهو غني عن التعريف. علي محمد بنزا في بلادنا هذه، لا سيما إذا تحدثنا عن الثقافة أو ثقافة لغة هausa، وهو مشهور غني عن التعريف، بل هو من أشهر مثقفين بثقافة لغة هausa في العالم. لا يخابرني أدنى شك في ذلك. ونعد هذا الأستاذ الدكتور من أقوى شعراء لغة هausa، سيما في استخدام الكلمات العربية المحوصة في قصائدهم. وأدل على ذلك هذه القصيدة إيكوواس بميردا دياكيبا. هذه القصيدة أنشأها الشاعر لهدف ولمناسبة التي دعته إلى إنشائها، ألا وهي هذه الأزمة وهذه الكوارث التي ظهرت في بلادنا هذه نتيجة انقلاب العسكري الذي حدث في بلد النيجر والذي دعا إلى انقلاب حكومة الديمقراطية التي يرأسها بازوك في النيجر. ومطلب القصيدة يبدو في قول الشاعر: يا من شريت الأمر أحد يا تلقدا وتري، ya wanda abinda ya yi ƙuduri ya kasance ce kakai katari ba sai ka tsawata masa ba. haza matlabul kasida bi mujarradi haza albayt tudriku idrakan jaliyan anna sha'ira istakhdama kalimatin arabiyya al-muhawwasa fil bayt لندخل مباشرة في صميم الموضوع والذي هو عبارة عن دراسة تطبيقية لنماذج من هذه الكلمات. النموذج الأول من المفردات العربية المحوسة في المجال الديني في هذه القصيدة كلمة وتري. وردت هذه الكلمة في البيت الذي سبق: يا من شريت الأمر أحد لا يتلقدا وتري. فالحوسوي الذي ليس له صلة باللغة العربية لا يدرك معنى كلمة وتر، لأن كلمة أصلها عربية فصيحة، ولكن حوسها الشاعر فسبقها بسبكة هوسة حتى أصبحت كلمة هوسوية يدركها الهوسوي، بل حتى المجاور بالهوساويين أمثال الدكتور قاسم يعرف كلمة وتري وإن لم يكن عربيا. ولها معان عدة في اللغة العربية، ولكن يهمنا معانيها في لغة هوسة بعد تهويسها. كلمة وتري كما قلنا كلمة عربية تحمل هذه الكلمة في لغة هوسة بعد تهويسها معنيين بس. المعنى الأول الفرد، والمعنى الثاني ختم الصلاة بركعة. في هوسة كلمة وتري ليس لها معنى إلا هذا. وأما في بيت الشاعر فتعني الفرد صفة من صفات الله تعالى. فإذا رجعنا إلى كلمات عربية المحوسة في القصيدة من جانب الدين فهي كلمات كثيرة في القصيدة، ولكن نأخذ كلمة واحدة لنرى كيف حوسها الحوساويون قبل أن تكون الكلمة هوسة. خذ قول الشاعر: واللي دكتور سعيد هوسوي، ألست هوسوي؟ ما معنى واللي؟ نعم، واللي ما معناه؟ والله ما سألتك، أنا سألتك ثانوي لأنه لا يعرف واللي، لا يعرف واللي لا يعرف واللي. أيوة، كلمة مأخوذة من والله بالعربية قسم، ولكن قبل أن تكون هوسة عمل عليها هوسوي. ما هذا العمل عمل عليها بالنسبة لأصواتها. أولا أبدلوا الهاء بالإمالة، وهكذا لا تجد كلمة محوسة إلا وعمل فيها الهوساويون. خذ كلمة صلاة، الصلاة، صلوا على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. الصلاة مصدر من هذه الكلمة، فلما قام أو أراد الهوساوي أن يحوس هذا الصلاة قال صلاتي. ورد هذه الكلمة في قصيدة الأستاذ الدكتور علي محمد بنزي. ما العمل الذي قام به الهوسا قبل أن يقول أن تكون الصلاة صلاتي؟ أبدلوا الصاد سينا، أليس كذلك؟ أبدلوا الصاد سينا، لأن هوسا ليس له صاد، لا يستطيع أن ينطق بالصاد، فأبدلوها سينا في صلاة، وضم السين هذا ثم سكون ياء. كذلك وردت هذه الكلمة في قصيدة الشاعر. نظرا للوقت ننتقل مباشرة إلى أهم النتائج التي حصل عليها هذا البحث بعد الأرض والدراسة. منها أن دخول العربية في بلاد هوسا له أثر كبير عاد على اللغة هوسا قيمة من المفردات، حتى قيل إذا أخرجنا كلمات عربية من هوسا لا تجد هوسا. اسم اللغة هوسا لا يستقيم. إذا أخرجنا كلمات عربية من هوسا، هوسا لا تستقيم، لأن سدس كلماتنا كلها عربية، أصلها عربي. عدد المفردات العربية المهوسة في القصيدة، هذه القصيدة واحدة ب65 بيت فحسب، ولكن العدد الذي ورد فيها من الكلمات العربية يبلغ 68 كلمة كلها محوسة. وأما طرق تحويس كلمات العربية فهي طرق عدة، منها إبدال الحرف الأصلي بحرف آخر يطابقه في لهجات هوسا المحلية. نحو ماذا؟ العادة كلمة عربية، ولكن بدلوا الحرف الموجود عندهم بغير الموجود. العين ما موجود عند هوسا فأبدلوه همزة. كذلك زيادة حرف أو أكثر في اللفظ العربي الأصلي ليتماشى ذلك اللفظ مع المعازم كو الألفاظ العربية أو الهوسوية. نحو ماذا؟ يجرب تجربة، فجاء هوسا فقال جربا. تحريك الساكن نحو صلح، وما إلى ذلك. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
What they deliver in respect of coup occurred in Niger last 3 months or 4 months ago. Then the Minister of Paper to intend or to analyze that the Arabic language is very effective language in Arabic, in Hausa. I can hear, one time I hear Professor Banza saying he brought out 1,000 words which Hausa is using, but originality of that word come from an Arabic language. So I want to even me to add some word, not only word, some sentence, like we have padama in Hausa. That padama, this word or this sentence came from Arabic. Fadal ma'u wa qala padama. Padama. Then we have shinkapa. Shinkapa in Hausa. Shay'un kafin. Wa qulna shinkapa. Then even those are common as zakat. We say zakat. Allu from Allah. Al-ada kama qala sheikh. We have many sentences and word came from Arabic, but now we change it to Hausa. So especially those words with adding al, as salat, as zakat, as we will put all al and put it biduni al. So the paper is very wonderful paper. May Allah reward the presenter. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Thank you very much, President. Work of going through the poetry of Muhammad Moza, that was from the Now, in this title, I will want to point out that the last word, echoes from Yaki, that bar should be separated from Yaki. There are two different words, so the bar should be separated from Yaki. That is my observation. Then, secondly, on what the presenter said, that most of Hausa words are borrowed from Arabic. As students of language, we are made to understand that borrowing words from one language to another is not a problem. It is an indication that the language is alive. So this is common among all languages. Even English has several words borrowed from Greek, from French, from so many other languages. So it is not something that a language should be seen as taken to the background because it has borrowed words from another language. At least it enlivens the language to be borrowing from another one. So I think Hausa is even a commendable language for having to borrow from several other languages.
It enriches a language. Some of the gray areas that I feel solutions still need to be given. If Hausa people borrowed 75% or 70% of their words usage in Arabic, what were those words that were being used by Hausa people before the contact with the Arab? To Banjira legend now. The Hausa...
The topic, not on the issue of where it's an aspect that the author should enrich the paper with the historical aspect of the topic. I think since it's already focused on the number of Hausanized Arabic words we have, only that I will advise the author to include the number of our Hausanized Arabic word in the abstract, because it's not mentioned in the abstract. It said 60 something. I think that should also be reflected in the abstract.
Any other contribution?
The most important part of the paper, which we should learn from the presenter, actually, that is the methods and the way it follows to Hausanized Arabic language. Like he started saying, the exchanging of a letter, which you don't have in Hausa, from Arabic, like Allah, like the one he cited before now, like Swadum, we say Asadi and others. And he actually mentioned about 3 methods in his paper. One, writing a letter that is not part of Hausa language. 2, all that kalimat. So I would have not done the presentation about how many ways, what are the styles that we are following to see that Hausanized Arabic letters. It's even most important part of it actually. And I agree with Dr. Asim that the research should be dominated by historical aspects of it, because the topic is actually Arabic-centered, and I'm sure we learn actually better from what you have presented us, especially this styles, how we change the Arabic to Hausa language, inshallah. Thank you.
الورقة الدسمة التي جال فيها وصال وأبدى إمكانيته فيها وجدارته في هذا التقديم، وجزاه الله خيرا. أنا يعني كنت أنظر إلى هذه الورقة من الناحية الأكاديمية البحتة، فالورقة كما تم تقديمها عالجت هذا الموضوع معالجة تامة. هذه العلاقة الموجودة بين العرب وشعوب شمال أفريقيا وجنوب الصحراء وهي جنوب أفريقيا تمثل بالجلالة الجسر الممتد عبر هذه القرون مرورا بتمبكتو إلى بلاد غوبر وإلى هذه البلدان، تحمل معها أو في طياتها ثقافات ولغات وكل ما تحمله الكلمة من المعاني. هذا كله طبعا يكون منسجما مع الطبيعة، منسجما مع الفطرة. فقط الذي كنت أريد الإشارة إليه هو هذا التحول الثقافي الذي عم الأكاديمية كلها، وهو أن شعوب هوسة وغيرها من الشعوب التي اعتنقت الإسلام والثقافة العربية تمكنت من استنتاج أشياء كثيرة. فنموذج الشعر الذي كان عندنا قبل هذا الاحتكاك الحضاري، كان الهوسة شعبا ولا بد له ثقافاته وأدبه، لكن الشعراء الذين كتبوا عن الشعر قبل وجود الثقافة الغربية بيننا نجد أنهم نقلوا هذه الثقافة إلى أولئك الذين تثقفوا بالثقافة الغربية. فمثلا الشاعر بنزا هو شاعر ومع ذلك درس الدراسة الغربية ونهجه نهج غربي طبعا في تقديم أوراقه وكل شيء. ننظر إلى الوراء قليلا، الشيخ ناصر الكبر وغيره. السؤال بس يعني بكل بساطة، كيف وضعوا أشعارهم على النسق العروضي المعروف لدى العرب؟ إن كنا نتحدث عن الثقافة أن هؤلاء تجار جاءوا وهناك احتكاك ما بين لكن أن ننقل الشعر على الموسيقى العروضية على هذا الشكل لابد وأن تكون هذه الثقافة أعمق مما.
We are wearing multiple identity, and in the course of our investigation, as in this paper, we tried as much as possible to solicit for elicit information from respondents. About we will have about 120 questionnaires that we share within the campus here, as well as people in the town of Buso here, that we try to find out from them. Now you are wearing multiple identities cap. How do you create identity when you are faced with identity creation in the midst of multicultural setting? Then many of them said that what they do is that they look at the advantages they stand to derive from a particular identity at a particular point in time. At a particular point in time, you try as much as possible to underscore what you stand to gain. If I boast, since I can speak Hausa, I can speak Yoruba, and I can speak English, for instance, then what you do is that many of them said what they do, they know they can derive benefit by speaking Hausa, then they try as much as possible to switch to Hausa language so that they can derive what they want to derive. Because the person talking now can speak more than 2 languages. The person talking can speak more than 2 languages. So we try to share these questionnaires and we get them. They were analyzed, and based on the geological framework, which is the social identity model, which try to explicate how in-group and out-group can be created. That in a multiple society, when you know that you share a common identity with someone, you try to get yourself identified with that person. That is the framework. You try to get yourself identified with that person. So in a class of this nature, for instance, if you're up to 100 here, some can speak Hausa, some can speak Igbo, some can speak Yoruba, and so on and so forth. Then before you know it, they begin to select themselves. They select themselves and they try and they begin to create identity. How do they create identity? By way of, in the mode of their dressing, in the mode of their talking, and in the mode of performing whatever they want to do. So you discover that language, from the title, that language attitude, because we all know that attitude is a feeling, it's a positive or negative feeling toward a particular cause. Positive or negative feeling towards a particular cause. All this was explicated in the paper. And in the creation of identity, what is identity? Identity is oneself. Who are you? The person you are is your identity. But in this situation, we are trying to narrow it down to in a multilingual setting, where someone is wearing multiple identity. In fact, I will, because of the time factor, I wouldn't want to go more than this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for this very interesting presentation. Now, the reviewer is Dr. Nzere.
Good afternoon, my esteemed colleagues. I want to still refer to the existing protocol. Regarding this paper that has just been presented, the paper particularly is in this order. It's a well-researched paper, and we must all agree. I'm putting a must because I'm coercing you to agree with me that we use more than one language as we are all seated here, isn't it? It's either you are speaking Hausa, Arabic, French, Edo language, Yoruba, and so on. So we are all multitasking. Anytime we could switch, and then or we could mix with another language. So the paper talks about, it started in this way: the introduction, the body of the paper, including all the statements, questions, and so on. And then talk about conclusion, recommendation, and suggestion. So the pattern and the arrangement of the paper is of standard. So it's a very simple paper. It doesn't need any other explanation like we did that of my dean when he presented his paper in his own way. So this is English, which is the standard of communication. Thank you all for listening. And I'm sure you all have copies of the paper. You go through it and you see that it's of standard. He took out his time to arrange everything accordingly. Thank you very much once again.
So the reviewer says she's coercing us to accept her. Do you agree? It's not for you to either agree with her or to disagree. The first person, Jonathan, you want to ask? I'm very like, Chobado, you want to ask? Okay, Mr. James. Okay. Hello, good afternoon, sir, and members of the IT room. My special regards go to my team and the HOD English and the presenter of this scientific paper. Good afternoon, sirs. Please, I just want to bring a little attention to, it's my humble opinion, sir, the statistical analysis, which is descriptive statistics, which you have employed. I wanted to say humbly that the column, there would have been an extra column for the decision, the remark, the decision criteria for the analysis. This is because you use a 5-point Likert scale, which I noticed here. And at least in summarizing, you get the analysis, which is very elaborate. But I was trying to check the decision criteria for the analysis. For example, the first and the last one, you said 15% of the respondents. That is, you use 120 sample size for the analysis. And the last one, you said 48.3%. I was trying to calculate how we derive this 48.3%.
the decision criteria. That's what I would like to thank you, sir. Okay, Mala, you said it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you, my deputy dean, and other team members. I would like to first of all congratulate the presenter for a very good presentation. For now, I have only one comment to offer here. Later on, if I take my time, I will meet the presenter for further comments. So my comment was this way on the issue of referencing. I observed that there is no consistency in the way you arrange these things, because the MLA style sheet has its own rules of arranging whatever you actually have laid your hands on in the course of writing any research paper. And as we all know, whoever presents an article for publication, sometimes on the grounds of references alone, the paper can be rejected. So I observed that in subtitles you use italics while some are not, which is not supposed to be like that. So take your time and arrange them so that they can be upstandard, and that is done correctly. Thank you very much.
Okay, the dean, sir.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Let me start with commending the presenter for this wonderful presentation. Mine is a question. Please, can you briefly tell us the simple ways for learning second language for adults? Because I observed that some people came to Hausaland and stay for long. So please, can you briefly tell us the simple ways of learning this? Yeah.
So now we allow him to respond.
Please meet me later. I have something to do by 2. Please. Thank you very much. No, ordinarily I wouldn't have wanted this interaction to be like this. But for the fact that I have very important meetings by 2 o'clock. So the man that said something about statistics analysis, when I called an expert for that. In fact, 3 plus 3 in English I have to calculate before I know that it's 6. So please, I asked an expert from statistics, who is a statistician, to help me do the analysis. So thank you, but meanwhile I will revert back to him and tell him that this is the observation. Then on the aspect of references, in fact, this paper was at a time what was rushed. It was in a rush because when I discovered that, then my HOD was not around, she traveled. And I discovered that all the departments are already having filling their slots, left with only English. So I had to just try as much as possible. And then I was thinking it was going to be presented about almost, it should be 2 months ago. Yes. So I never knew to take up to this time. If I had known, I think the people would have been richer than this. Then on the aspect of learning second language, you see, language has to do with attitude. Once we are not interested in learning a language, there's no way you can learn it. And learning is equally, it's off circle. This question is off circle. It's for all. So once you are interested in learning a particular language and you develop positive attitude towards both the speaker, the culture, and the whatever of that particular language, there's no way you don't start picking the language one after the other. That is why you discover that in Nigeria today, when you carry out a large scale of research related to language learning, you discover that the rate at which Igbos speaks Hausa is very low because the attitude is not there. The love is not there. But when you go to Lagos and see Yoruba, you see Igbo speaking Yoruba, even most of the musicians are Igbo. But here, somebody will give birth to in the Hausa land here. He will do it primary school, secondary school. I'm telling you, the only thing he knows Hausa is dubu.
Thank you. So, distinguished invited guests, we have come to the end of this very interesting main conference. Before